This is my final project video about Vincent van Gogh, and we'll be talking about his two oil paintings, Irises and Self-Portrait. Vincent van Gogh was a post-impressionist painter, and he was one of many well-known and authoritative individuals in the Western art history after his death in 1889. He was born in Zundert, Netherlands. There were 6 of them, and he was the oldest of the 6, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. There's Theo, one of his brothers, his sister Elizabeth, his sister Will, his other brother Cor, and his sister Anna. All of them have photographs except for Vincent. He believed that photographs didn't capture the life or the beauty that painted portraits did. Also, he had an older sibling that was stillborn, and his name was also Vincent Willem van Gogh. This is his tombstone. And he was born a year to date before Vincent van Gogh was born, as Vincent van Gogh was born March 30th, 1853, and his brother that was stillborn March 30th, 1852. Now we will be doing our analysis, a visual analysis on the painting Self-Portrait with Bandaged Ear by Vincent van Gogh. It is oil on canvas, and it is from 1889. Also, we will be doing a little bit of background, which is a part of our analysis. We will start off by pointing out the very apparent brushstrokes left in this painting. On purpose, it is a technique known by Van Gogh in all his paintings that have this texture called impasto. Well, the technique is called impasto, which is just a term for paste or mixture. He would either use a paintbrush or a palette knife to make this texture while he painted. We'll break down what we see in this painting, which is Van Gogh with a bandage on his ear. And it looks like if we were painting this of him, it would be his right ear, but this is actually a mirror image of him, and it is his left ear that he severed off. He was in Arles, France at the time, and he severed his ear, delivered it to a brothel, asked for a woman named Rachel, and asked her to guard this object with your life, verbatim. Jumping around a little bit, now getting into the background, we are gonna look at this yellow house. I just wanted to show, I thought it'd be cool to see what it actually looked like in Arles, France. This is where he lived. This is where he painted all the time. His dream was to live there with other artists and share their ideas. And he just really wanted to get along with other artists and have that company, as he did not like being alone. He loved the outdoors and he loved people. Getting back onto our visual analysis. Again, this is his left ear that he severed off, and you see that he's wearing a winter hat, winter coat. There is an easel behind him with a canvas to the left. And on the right in the back, you see a painting which looks like 3 women. And I believe from the research that I've done, it is 2 geishas that are wearing red. And there's a mountain in the back, which I believe is Mount Fuji. And then there is a window, a blue window there. From the research that I've done, I also believe that him wearing this winter wear indoors is just him expressing himself after hearing doctors say that he needs to be committed for severing his ear off and delivering it to a woman. And he was trying to prove that he does not need to be committed. The window represents fresh air. The jacket represents staying warm, as the doctor told him to get well. He's using analogous colors that blend well together. His eyes are green, which go with his jacket that are green. The door is blue. There's green in the painting behind him. The wall behind the easel is green. There are a lot of colors here that complement each other and that blend into each other. Van Gogh painted to convey the emotions that he felt and how he saw things. That was his way of communicating with people. Moving on to the second painting, which is also oil on canvas, painted 1889 in Saint Remy, France. This was painted within the year of his death, the actual year that he died. This was painted in the asylum that he committed himself into after ultimately being forced into the Arles hospital after the severed ear incident. He was forced into the Arles hospital and held in an isolation cell. Then shortly after that, he committed himself into an asylum in Saint Remy, France, where he painted this in their garden. This is irises, and I'll be explaining the background and what he was conveying, and then we'll do a visual analysis as well. Irises was painted in the same colors pretty much as the self-portrait that we just looked at. This one also has Angeles colors that blend well together. I do see some complementary colors in this one though, which is the blue and the yellow and the white. They all stand out against the green, and there's also some yellow in the middle of the blue irises. There's yellow in the middle of the white iris, and then there's the yellow flowers in the back. This one actually represents how Van Gogh saw himself as different from everyone else. The white flower is him in a crowd of people, so to speak. I do notice that this is one of few of his paintings that don't have that technique we were talking about in pasto. This one actually looks very smooth. I don't see a lot of noticeable brushstrokes, if any. He does use a lot of yellows, greens, and blues and whites in his paintings. I have noticed that. There is a lot of detail. I would consider this close to a still life or realism. He seemed like he was more so trying to convey and get his message across than stick to his normal technique. If you consider where he was and the mindset he probably was in, trying to recover from his mental illness, which was epilepsy, which contributed to his severe mental derangement and delusions. And shortly after painting this, he passed away by suicide. Then his brother submitted this painting to a French exhibition, which is how we are learning about it today. Thank you for watching.